Hi, I'm Richard Carlton from FMTrain.tv. We're here to have a lot of fun, teach you about the FileMaker platform. We've got an awesome guest speaker, Nick Hunter, who's here today. But before we do that, let's cover the upcoming broadcast schedule and some housekeeping notes. First off, that today and tomorrow is going to be some action with Nick. Monday is Deflector Shield Technology. There are two in market kind of, I want to say, well, two in-market deflector shield technologies. One is a publicly available product from Jesse Barnum. It's a deflector shield basically to protect against ransomware. That is Monday. Be here or be square. I highly recommend that. Let me now address the slide that Margaret thought was the leading slide. Basically, the idea is that Nick, for his live streams, has what we call a special version of FM Starting Point. This is a Nick version. It's not an officially supported version. So people go, how come Nick's amazing quack that quacked me out? So is not in the Starting Point. Well, some of the stuff that Nick does is exceptionally complex and it's amazing, but it's complex. That's why we have live streams on it. We can't really roll that into our free CRM. So we have the light version. We have the FMP standard version. We have the FMP enhanced version. This one, when you go and download from FM Starting Point, if you pop a window, Margaret, you go to fmstartingpoint.com, you press the download button, you're going to get an email that will come back, which will contain, there we go, you hit the button, you hit the download, that one there. And what you do is you fill this information. You're going to get a single email which contains all the supported versions that we have. You don't have to do it right. Well, go ahead and do it, Margaret, if you want to bring it up and show it. That's fine. It's important to note that Nick's version is not officially supported. So I have people calling me going, "Hey, Rick, there's a typo." And what people have to understand is that A, we're not going to proofread Nick's database, and we're not going to fix bugs. It's not supposed to be a complete CRM. It is a technology demonstrator. The idea is that you see something in there, you like it, you take it out of there, you stick it in your own system somewhere else, right? And so this is the email that you get, and it's kind of spaced out, kind of funky. So what this is right here, this is a Starting Point beta. This is actually no longer a beta. We have to fix that label. Margaret, mark that up. So the light is kind of final. The good news is that the standard version, we did a review on it a week and a half ago, and it was pretty far along. I was shocked how well John Hogle was working on it. So the Starting Point with the new design aesthetic, that what we call 2022 design aesthetic, which is the neomorphism design standard that you see, is coming right along in the standard version. If you want the standard version right now, you have to go back to the blue Metro Blue design standard, which is the 2021 from 2 years ago. So these are all, when in fact, if I start a new project, just for simplicity, sometimes I go back to older ones. I use older ones. I don't necessarily the latest one. So Nick, are you ready? So I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna go to do some engineer training some engineers, and you're gonna continue with iPhone design, right?
Yes.
Is this going to be compatible with the iPhone? No one's asked the question yet, but there's the new iPhone 14. Is what you're building going to work on iPhone 14?
What I've built, listen to this. What I've built 10 years ago, what I'm going to use right now as an example of good thing, okay, was designed for iPhone 4, and I'm using today. So
it'll still work on iPhone. So it works now. So if you design well, it works in the future products.
Exactly. If you design well, if you design like I will teach you, no problem. Yesterday, I was, explaining what makes the iPhone layout difficult. So I'm going to share my screen right away and stop showing my face. This is the starter solution assets. Okay, so we had some confusion yesterday. Marge?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm here.
So
Sorry.
we have some confusion yesterday. So the starter solution I'm using are no longer available on FileMaker 19. They are available only on FileMaker 18, 17, 16, 14, 15. Okay, so the version before 19. Okay. But can we zip them and send them, or can we do something like that, or do we?
I assume do we have these starter solutions somewhere already?
If you don't, I can give you a copy.
Go ahead
You
and give me a copy.
open FileMaker 19, and I can give you a copy. I'll give you a copy.
Yes.
I'll give you a copy, a fresh copy, right?
Yeah, that
Of
sounds
all
good
of
to
them,
me.
all of them.
Okay, cool.
So, so I'm using these examples because they are simple enough. They were built for beginners, okay? They were built to demonstrate good practices. They were built to be really, really, like we were saying back in the day, native feeling. When you use those solutions, you don't feel you are in FileMaker. There's no way you can see you are in FileMaker unless you know FileMaker. But if you don't know FileMaker, there's no way you can say, oh, this is not native. Okay, so this is why I'm using those examples. Okay, so like Rick said, the good news is that those solutions built for iPhone 4, not even iPhone 4S, iPhone 4, the first iPhone, right? The one with the antenna that wasn't working. So the iPhone 4, we designed them, and I'm using an iPhone 8, okay? So I'm using an iPhone 8, and it's still working well, right? So you can feel the difference between an iPhone 4 and iPhone S. It's pretty much double size, okay? So I'm going to explain, I'm going to demonstrate now what is the difficulty with FileMaker, with an iPhone, okay? So yesterday I showed you, let's open this on here. So this is the desktop layout. This is the iPhone layout, right? Playing on an iPhone. So the difficulty is to keep the editing of fields, right? And editing of fields like this, right? So you can edit this, have the list, the same list here, the dates, and the dates like this, so, and done, okay? So the idea is to keep the same type of behavior without modifying much of it, right? But the problem, like I said, with the iPhone is how we are editing data. So the demonstration here. So I have the same thing here. So I can type the button here. So we have the same button here, right? So we can say a new record here. You have a checkout, right? You have the same button here. Here's the popover, right? And here it's a layout. So why we do a layout? Because imagine we have this on the phone. It will be extremely difficult to work. Why? Because this layout is scrolling up and down. So if you have a popover showing up here, and you have a layout that moves up and down, your popover will be dancing up, down, left, right, right? It will be very, very hard to understand what's going on. It will be impossible you will lose the person. When they will type somewhere, it's a nightmare. And we have a big problem with the popover. Knowing that in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think, I'm going to cover a special week on card style window, okay? So today I'm demonstrating how to replace a popover with a layout. But in 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to demonstrate how to replace a popover with a card style window, even on desktop, okay? So what the problem with the card style window? What the problem with the popover on the iPhone is that if you have a layout like this, look what it's doing. See, look what is. Imagine you are an iPhone and you have something like this, right? You have something like this, so you can scroll up and down. See the popover. You don't even know where the popover is pointing to, because you don't know. You see, you can move the thing up and right. You don't know where's my pop. Oh, it's this. Okay, I know now. But here you have no clue what's going on, and here we have no. So it's not at all easy On the desktop, no problem. On the desktop, look, because as I said yesterday, we don't have dancing, moving like this. We don't have scrolling layouts. But here we have a scrolling layout by definition on an iPhone, right? So we do a layout. So this is static, so doesn't move up and down. It doesn't, right? It fits the screen. So I have here, I can edit this, very cool. I can edit this, very cool. I can edit this, very cool. And I can edit this, very cool too, right? I'm using one hand with my thumb. One hand with my thumb. You can see on Zoom, right?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, one hand with my thumb. Okay? Okay, so one hand with my thumb. I tap here, I edit this. I edit this. I edit this. And I edit this. So it's comfortable, it's cool. And we have the same cancel done stuff. So the cancel, it's very important on an iPhone. The cancel, because it gives you the feeling of comfort, right? Give you the feeling of comfort. Give you the feeling of, oh, if I do a mistake, I don't need this. Cancel. Boom. Boom. Completely forget. Completely. So you can check out and say again, right? And change the date again, and do whatever you want, right? But with one hand, so you feel comfortable because you can cancel. Here too, you can cancel, but it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to do because we are on the popover, and that's what I'm going to cover in 3 weeks. Why this is a nightmare. Look what you have to do. It's really hard because you are on the trigger on the freaking popover, and you have double action. You have an action when you get out, clicking outside the popover, and you have the cancel button, right? So here on an iPhone with that system, it's really cool because it's simple. Cancel goes to delete everything and goes to the other layout. You don't have to take care of a trigger on a popover. For the one of you with a little bit more advanced can understand what I'm saying here. A trigger on the popover, it's a nightmare. And we all tried and we all failed badly because it's not comfortable, because it's not meant for that. So what I built here was something-ish, okay? Now I'm not going to use that at all. Now I'm going to use that as a cursor window. And on my demo in 2 weeks, I'm going to use that file to show you how we're going to simplify everything because we're going to use a cursor window. But when I built those things, FileMaker 12 was in production, 12, right? So I built those without popover, without a cursor window. So that's why I didn't use cursor window. But on an iPhone, it's great to use the layout itself. So you understand why it's comfortable. It's very comfortable to use, right? So when you're ready, you press done and you go back to your layout. It's very cool. It's go back. It's nothing to do with the popover. So we have the same with the review. Here the review. So let's say I want to check out this, okay? So the review is the same. We have a button, we have a popover, right? And here on an iPhone, leave me alone. So here on the iPhone, right, we have the same renew button here, but I'm going to a layout, not a popover. So I have the same comforts, right? I have the same comforts, I have the same comfort as before. And you can see when things come up, I'm not dancing. My layout is not dancing like this, right? Because it's built in a way that you don't have to, because that's something you need to take care of. On an iPhone, look all the space taken by the half the screen on an iPhone 8. On an iPhone 13 Pro Max, you have more real estate, right? But still, we have we have a lot of real estate taken by the pickers, the date pickers, or the value lists, right? Or the date, and even the text itself, right? the keyboard, right? So you can type here, you can say this here, right? And go to type, I don't know where, okay, here, right? And you go to type. So you have the keyboard, right? So so let's say I'm doing this, okay? So boom. So, but you see here how comfortable it is, because I am in a dedicated layout. It's very, very important that, okay? So the same for everything. So, and of course, we are on an iPhone. So we added things that we cannot add it here, because we don't have signature available on the desktop, only on iPhone or iPad. So you can sign here, and you have the signature, and now this becomes certified because I have the signature, right? And I have the depreciation. Depreciation is the same here. Here we have a popover, but here I have a layout, right? Here I have a layout. So the same, it's much easier to use, right? So so purchase from, I don't know, store, okay, and purchase dates. So you have a date done. Oh, I mean the date, 2022. I don't know why it's not picking the date, but okay. Now it's picking the date. I think you had some bug here. Done. The cost, okay. So now I'm showing you something else. In FileMaker, you can pick up different keyboards for iPhone and iPad. For example, here, I don't want I don't want text here. I want the number keyboard, numbers, right? So FileMaker has the ability to select your type of keyboard. For example, let's say you have a text, you have a number here. That's a number, okay? And you want here to select the input method. No, not the input. No, here. Sorry, the touch keyboard type. Okay, so let me explain a little bit this. On iPhone is extremely useful. Okay, so you have default for type data. So automatically, if it's a number, it will come with a number. If it's a date, it will come with the date picker. It will do that automatically, but you can force it. For example, okay, you can have something for the URL, for example. So you have the .com, .net, you have the dot something on the keyboard. You know those type of keyboards. Okay, so I can show you. Maybe I have it here on an email. I don't know if I have an email somewhere here. Serial number. I can show. Oh, sorry. I can show you the contacts. The contacts. Yeah. So it's in Spanish. I don't know why. So on the contact here, I have what's the name? I have an email. Okay. So that the email keyboard, right? You have the @ directly here. So that's an email keyboard. You have the dot @ right? and you have the .com, .o, you have all the dots, the most dots used, right? So that's the email. So you have another input method. You have the numeric 10 keys. So that's the one I showed you before. That's the one with this. When you hear, and you go to the depreciation, and you have this. This is the 10 keyboard. This is the 10 key. Okay, the number keypad. It's another type of. Maybe I should. Can I? Is my sharing working now? Anyway, so we have different type of keyboard. You understand what I'm talking here? The phone is something dedicated for phone. So if I go in my status solution here, contacts, and I go to phone here, I show you the phone key. So that's the phone key, the keyboard for phone, right? So you have everything you need for the phone. So this is the email. Here we have for the web. So that's for the web. See, you have everything for the web. You have the dot, the slash, the .com with all the dots. Okay. But you have the .com by default, and you have all the keys you need. Compared to the normal keyboard, right, where you have this. So you don't have the slash, and you don't have space available on the web, right? You don't have space available because you're not supposed to enter space on the URL. You're not supposed to. It doesn't work. Space is not recognized, so that's why you don't, right? So using the different type of keyboard input, right, you help your user a lot, right? And you avoid problems. So if you don't have any question, I don't see anything in Discord.
No. Oh wait, no. How do you stop the iPhone screen from zooming?
Oh, that's easy. At the beginning, okay, that's a good question. That I can go there. I didn't want to go there right now, but I can do it. You have always, on first window open, right? Now the script you run, on the file here, the script you run here. Okay, you always have one. Okay? So here's the right technique to do that. Right? First, you set a variable because you want to know. You always need to know in which platform you are. Okay, so you said, I am here. That's very easy. You have the get device. The unknown device, I put desktop. If I see something unknown, right, it says 0 is unknown. The get device will return 0 when it's unknown. It will also return, actually I can pop up here, get device. So get device will return this. 0 for unknown, 1 for Mac, 2 for PCs, right? 3 for iPad, 4 for iPhone, 5 for Android when you are on the WebDirect, and 6 for computer running Linux, okay? On the WebDirect. So when you are this on WebDirect, this on WebDirect, this is native iPhone or WebDirect on iPhone, native iPad or WebDirect on iPad, running Windows or WebDirect on Windows, the same here and the same for here. So that being said, I need to convert those into text because I'm a human. So I'm using the choose commands. So how the choose works, the choose, so choose. Choose is something I use a lot. So let's say I said 0, I said, whatever, get device, for example, get device. And I want to put the same thing, right? I said the 0 is desktop, okay? That's when choose the command, if this returns 0, it will say desktop. It will say desktop if it's 1, Mac. Let's say Mac, Let's say PC. Let's say iPad, okay, etc., right? And let's say iPhone, right? Oops. Okay, so I have this. So let's replace this. So he said Mac. I'm a Mac. Okay, so it works. Let's say this return 1. So it's Mac. 2, PC. 3, iPad. 4, iPhone. See? So the choose is a perfect match to do whatever I want to do, what I want to do here, right? So that is to transform a number into text. Okay. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, right? Like this. Based on this platform global variable that I have always ready, I can say if platform desktop, go to that layout. If it's tablet, go to that layout. If it's phone, go to that layout. If it's web, go to that layout. This is how you do it. And on all your scripts, for example, I don't know if I have a print one, not the print one, but clear. Okay, here, for example, cancel. I want to cancel. Remember that button cancel that I have here, right? So how I'm doing this, and look the simplicity on an iPhone compared to the popover on desktop. So if it's platform iPhone for phone, go to layout. That's it. That's it. You don't need nothing else. If it's not, that means if it's iPad, desktop, you need to set the variable, the trigger. So that is another topic that we need to talk about, but that not now. Close the popover, right, and commit the record. So you need to do that, and here you don't need to do that, So of course you said revert, right? Revert the record, right? And you do this. So this is a cancel, but here I'm asking for the platform for my scripts to do something different. This is the way you do to prevent to have a script for iPhone, a script for iPad, no, you have one script, and then for iPhone it's doing this, and an iPad is doing this, and desktop doing that. So you can choose whatever, for example, here, here, yeah, that's the layout navigation, right? So if it's desktop, go there, tablet, go there, so that's the navigation. So you ask for the platform, right, to the variable to trigger to perform something on the script, right? So this is the right technique to do that, right? So I want now to show you a little bit of what I was showing yesterday about the edit mode, okay? Because it's important when you have complex layouts and you don't want to reduce the features of one of your solutions. You don't want to reduce features, and you want to display things on an iPhone, because that's the tendency. People said, "Oh, on an iPhone, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't know," because they don't have the courage to do it or the know-how. I want to do all of this. I want the dashboard the same, with this the same, I want the chart. I want my filters. I want the company name. I want to be able to change this. I want to be able to go to the invoices. I want to be able to do absolutely everything that you see here on an iPhone. And in that time, it was an iPhone 4. Okay, so I want this. I want the same thing. I want the same icon. I want the same thing. Same. I don't want to give up one of the smallest features from the desktop to the iPhone. I want to be able to print the invoice. I want to be able to send by email. I want to manage my customers. I want to manage my product. I want everything the same. So how is possible? So when you have something like it, because okay, it's not a very complicated layout, but still, it starts to be a little bit more complicated than the asset layouts, right? So when you are on a phone here, so you have invoices. So I start with the dashboard, okay, and I have the same. But what happened to that dashboard, right? What happened to that dashboard? I merged the two objects in one. Okay? So here, unfortunately, there's no rule. I mean, yes, that the rule is when you have a construction like this, you mix both in one. On an iPhone, on a desktop, you can split it. On the iPad, you can split it because you have real estate. Because when you don't have real estate, you merge. So how you merge? I have here the next. Okay, so I have 3 charts. 3. Here now, I have invoices. Here I have invoices September 22. Invoices September 22. I have it here. So I know that what I'm showing here are invoices of September 22. And on an iPhone, I know that what I'm showing here are invoices for September 22. What happened when I tap this button here, this one? Bam. Oh, I have charts now. Another one. And another one. So I can go back to my original. So I'm adding one tab of that here, of that slide control, because it's slide. Here I have 1, 2, 3 dots. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. Okay. So here, like this, I don't know, they do work on the just now that I have the webinar, they do work. So so you understand what I'm doing here, you know? I am merging like this one tab. I'm adding one tab. There's 4 now here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I have 3 because this is outside, and here I merged the 2, right? I merged this and this. Of course, I have this here. I have this here, and I have the same here. Yes, it's a popover. Yes, it's a popover, but it was a mistake. Because look, it's scroll, you can scroll, but look, at that time, we didn't have Castar window. It was a dream Castar window. So that's why we did a popover, right? So now, so you can see here, I have the same features, right? I have the same features, exactly the same. Here, I have the type, I have the ID, the company name, I have everything, the same info I have here, right? I have this here, right? So overdue, unpaid, paid. So I have everything. So let's open one, or let's create one invoice, you know? So I'm going to my dashboard, right? And I'm creating one invoice. So that's a brand new invoice, like exactly like I'm doing here. It's a brand new invoice, right? So I can select the company name, but I have none. So let's create a company first. Let's create a company. So I create a company like RCC, you know, and I don't know, developer. Okay, and website we don't need. So I create my customer, right? I have RCC. Okay. Of course, I can put phone and stuff like that, but that we can see that later. So now that I have my company name also, I can select my company name, right? So let's create a new one again. The new one, when I enter a new one, okay, so I can select the company, right? I can enter the dates, I can enter the type, I can enter the terms, and you see now the things start to be a little bit more uncomfortable. See, because we have we have the keyboard that show up, and you have the screen scrolling to show the thing, right? So that's why you need to take care of this, right? So the size, this has been sized in a way, that field has been sized in a way to be comfortable, okay? To be comfortable to edit it, okay? So you cannot, if you have an oversized fields, you understand the problem you get if you have an oversized field. So you cannot oversize fields. So now here, yesterday I told you that this is a list view. This here, iPhone edits. Need to go. iPhone edit phone. Okay. Okay. This is a list view. List view. So we put that in the leading grand summary. So by default, you remember I told you in an iPhone or an iPad on FileMaker Go in general, we cannot use this type of construction. I mean, you can, but it's strongly I strongly not recommend it to use this type of construction like this, having data here and related data. So we have a portal. Portal are not comfortable on an iPhone or an iPad. They're not comfortable. They don't do the job like they should do. They do a good job, let's say a relatively good job in a desktop, but they don't do the right thing. So we need to avoid them. To avoid them, we go straight to the invoice data. So we straight inside this table, straight to the related table, and I display the information from the invoice table that is now related, because every single record that I'm going to create here are going to be related to an invoice. So let me explain. On the desktop, we are here and we show data from that table. On an iPhone, iPad, we go there directly and we show information related to this. So all the record I'm going to create there, all the record I'm going to create there, here, are related to the main invoice record. Okay. Because my script, when I create a new invoice, right? Let's say I'm here, I'm creating a new invoice. What's the script doing? Well, first I'm doing a new request. So I'm going to do I'm just doing a new request. And then I'm performing, a script based from the platform. So when the platform is tablet or iPhone, okay, I'm running these scripts. Okay, go to selected invoice. So here I'm setting two things. The most important, and I'm setting the current invoice ID. So that means I'm going to create a global variable with the current invoice ID. So I'm going to forget about this. But now that I'm here, right? When you create, let's see here. When you create a new invoice from here, when you create a new invoice from here, the button create new invoice. I'm going to the layout invoice. I create a record, creating a record there. I'm setting the ID of that record in memory, right? And then every time I'm going to add a line, every time I'm going to do this, is going to add the line, new record, new record, new record, because I am in the related table. I'm directly at that table. So this script is just new record, okay? And because I am in the invoice data, I don't need complexity. For example, when I'm here on an iPhone edits here, when I add an item, it's just a new record. Okay, new record. But I have an on-record load that tells me if it's a new record, all right? If it's a new record and it's never be open, it's a brand new record, go to the layout. That means I could have done this differently. I could have done a script here that says, go, add new line item iPhone, add new line item iPad, add new line, but no, you have one on record load, right? Because it's much more simple to manage. This button here is a new record. It's a new record, so you can copy paste. It's going to do new record. It's a single step button. So when you do this, okay, when you do this and you add a line item, boom, it goes to another layout. So why? For the same reason I show you for the asset management, because here is much more comfortable to use with one finger. You want to use this on an iPhone? You want to use this on an iPhone? How? Okay, explain me how you can have a portal that wide on an iPhone. Tell me, explain me. I'm on Discord. I'm waiting for answers. Okay, how you can display that portal, right, in an iPhone without to be a nightmare. Okay, so you can't, because you need to. On an iPhone, we are vertical. Okay, we're not horizontal, right? And you don't want to rotate your phone every 2 minutes, right? To do this, and even if you rotate the phone, it's not comfortable. It's not. So what you need to do is to transform a line item, a row, a total row, you go to the layout, to that record, and then you do whatever you want with one finger. Demonstration. Tap here, quantity. So here I have the keyboard, right, with just the 10-digit stuff, right? So I want 5, done. Oh, I have a discount. Okay, no problem. I want a 5% discount. And oh, the price, I want the price to be like 99 bucks, right? And I want to, so I have the amount. The amount is calculated, and I want that taxable or not taxable. So I have this here, right? Like this, right? Taxable, not taxable, right? And so you see with one finger, so when I say done, you know, I'm there, you know, it's there. It's a new one, so I can change this to, or I can select something. It's an iPhone, right? It's an iPhone, and so you can go and I have this here, and I say iPhone 5. He said 5 by $99. So this is another thing I want to show you. Here we have items, one quantity, one discount 0, a price, unit price, tax, and amount, right? Here we have the same. Here we have the same, right? We have, but labeled free, label free. You don't want labels on an iPhone, never, or very few, and very, very specific. So let me explain. For example, here I know iPhone. It's the item. I know that, you know. I know that 5 by $1.99. I know what that means. You know, I know what that means. 5 quantity by unit price. Okay. Then I have a percentage, and I needed here a label. Why? Because I couldn't let, sorry, you know, 5 by 99. I couldn't let the discount 5.0. I couldn't let that because you know, I couldn't let only 5%. 5% what? 5% gross, 5%, I don't know, benefits. What's 5% what? So I put a label or an abbreviation of what it's supposed to be understandable by 99.99% of people. I have a discount of 5%. That I need a label. But you understand, I'm putting the label right where it needs it, because everything else, I know what it is. Especially when you type and you edit, you say, oh, okay, I understand now. So when you see that, right, and you go back to the invoice, you understand, right? So you know now the advantage of not using a column, right? Because here, let's create a new invoice, brand new. Here by default, I have one empty row, empty record to initiate the page, initiate the layout, because in a list view, you cannot have 0 record and show related data. Those are related data. I need at least one row. At least one row. Okay. So when I initiate the you know, on an iPhone, I create by default one record, right? Empty. And you can type it, edit it, change it, you know. This is an iPad 8 and price you know, $7.99. Okay. So So now I have one eye. But you see, everything else before and after, especially what after, is following the amount of rows. So now I'm creating a new one, the new line item. So now I have 2. I'm creating a new one. Now I have 3. I create a new one. Now I have 4. I create a new one. Now I have 5. New one. 6. New one. 7. And because I'm in the list view, it gets bigger, as I'm creating records. And everything below is following. If I have a portal, you understand the problem. The portal, I will show what? 5 rows, 10 rows, and you will be scrolling an object that is in the scrolling. So you don't do embedded scrolling. So you don't do this. Let me show you on the desktop what you shouldn't do. Right? You shouldn't do this. Creating a blank, right? Embedded scrolling. So let's resize it for iPhone, because I'm going to share that in my phone. So I have a layout like this, right? And I want a portal. So I'm going to create a new table. Create a new table. And foreign key. Foreign key. I don't need this. And not this. Okay, foreign key. So now I'm doing this. Primary key, foreign key. Okay. Oh, and I need to be able to create record. Okay. So, and I want to put here title, and here are the notes. So, embedded scrolling. I'm putting here stuff. I have stuff here, right? Putting here stuff. So I'm putting here. Okay. So I have stuffs here. Okay. Stuff. I have stuff. And I have my portal scrolling, right? With my notes, right? And I have all the stuff here. So pretty much I'm recreating the layouts of my invoice. And I want to make this a little bit. So, and I'm creating records here. Note 1. Okay, I'm going to create records. Note 2. Note 3. Note 4. Note 5. Note 6. Note 7. Note 8. 9. 10. Okay, and 11, and we're going to do like 12. Okay, so it's scrolling. So I'm going to send this embedded scrolling to my phone, right? So on the second airdrop, where is it? Embedded scrolling to the phone. How to go? Okay. Embedded scrolling. This scroll here, and this scroll, and this scroll. So you have a scrolling area here, and you have another scrolling area here. So here is scroll, but it doesn't scroll the layout. You you need to not scrolling here, scroll here, but here, here, it scrolls here, right? And here, and bed is scrolling. It's a nightmare. Doesn't work, it doesn't work. So, and I made a good design, because otherwise, you can have a very, very complicated thing. So you understand why we don't do a portal on an iPhone can be scrolling only if the layout is not scrolling. If the layout is aesthetically, so that means if your layout is sized, sorry, I wasn't showing the thing. Here is scroll, right? But this scroll. If I scroll on the portal, it scrolls. If I seize here, it scroll the layout. But if I seize here, if I scroll here in that area, I scroll there, and here, and there, and here, and there, So here, you might never know, you know what I mean? It doesn't work. It's embedded scrolling. Go to Google, and they will say, if you do that, you're a bad designer. You're very bad. Okay, so it's you're the worst designer in the world if you do that. So that's why I'm saying the embedded scrolling, no, and I do the demonstration why. So, and it's not comfortable, because you need to know that you need to know that you can scroll this, right? To show all the thing. Here is so comfortable because you don't have the embedded scrolling. You see all your stuff, and as you add more and more, you don't care, they show it's comfortable. You see all, you scroll, right? You see it's comfortable, and at the end, so the layout is articulated like this. You have a leading grand summary showing data, related data from that unique invoice record, and then you have here the same for the bottom. So what did I do here compared to this? Everything stacked in one column. This, then this, then this, then this, then this, this, and this. So pretty much we took the blocks. Look what it did. Company name, boom, is there. Then we have date, type, term, date, term, type, term, date. Then we have summary. Then we have that's stacked, it's stacked like this, right? Then we have the tax rate. Then we have the discount, the subtotal, the tax, the total, we have all of those stacked. Right? And then we have for the payment stuff. But for the payment stuff, so we have an edit mode, right? Because here, this is the standard mode. This is the preview mode. It's not look, you cannot display everything on your layouts. You need to display things as they are needed. Demonstration. That's why you need the edit mode, especially in that case. Here, if I tap here, absolutely nothing happened. Accidentally, I cannot do anything. It's an invoice. You don't want to be able to delete records. You don't want to be able to modify records. No. You want to see it. You want to see it, the total, and you want to send an email, print, right? You want to be able to set the payment status. You say, okay, yeah, I paid with debit card today, everything okay, boom. Very comfortable, right? Cash, boom. Or say, oh, no, he didn't pay. Okay, I'm paid, right? So you have all the features that you have on the desktop, but when you edit it, you don't need that. You don't need the send by email and the send by email. No, you don't need and the payment. You are editing it. So use, but what I want is a delete button. I want the delete button there. And as I demonstrated to you a long time ago or last week, that you want to bury your delete button. You don't want the delete button to be the first thing you see when you open an invoice. The delete button must be red, but must be labeled dangerous, hazardous. It's like this. It's delete, and you can, of course, you have the confirmation. Okay. So this very important that you display things as they need it, because you don't want to display everything. So imagine that I don't have this edit mode here. It will be like I could delete, I could print, I could send, I could set paper. So it's complicated. Here, I know what I'm doing, and I can delete this, right? Delete this. So you delete records, right? You can delete the invoice if you want. And when you're done, you're done. Right? So I see we have a long, large question here. So Marge, do you want to announce it?
Yes, I can. Give me a moment, Discord setting moment. So how are you settling the invoice ID from your global variable that you captured when you are in the invoice line items? Are you using a calculation to distinguish the difference between devices, or just a script step when done? I imagine you have a clever way of handling that. I was thinking that was a calculation on record creation based on the way you create a new record in that layout with a single step.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, it's much simpler than this. When you create, and I'm using this technique a lot. I can actually, that could be a good topic. When I create an invoice from an iPhone perspective, I go to the phone layout, right? Invoice iPhone. So I go to the invoice iPhone layout and I create a new record. So the invoice iPhone layout is there. So it's a list view. I'm going to the list view. From here, I'm creating a new record. Okay, that's the script. What's the script doing? And here, I have an on record load that takes the relay. So I have a cascading effect like this. I have an action a very simple action that goes to a layout, create new record. Boom. That's what the script doing. From that layout, I have an on record load trigger that says, okay, if the record is not new, because this telling you, this here is telling you, it's a very cool thing to know. I can use this. Let me use this record here. Get record open. I can even open their file. Record open. Record open states. Stupid FileMaker is not available. So this is what this function returns. 0 for a closed committed record. So that's what I am here. I have a closed committed record, closed record. 1 is for a new record that hasn't been committed. 2 is for a modified record that hasn't been committed. So that means that's important. Now I know you're going to use that and you're going to play with this, please. And that for a deleted record that hasn't been deleted. That's very complicated to use. Technically it's for related records, but let's focus on the 1. So if I create a new record here, right, So let's monitor this. I create a new record. Boom. A new record by default is 1 because it's a new record, never committed. Never. If I click outside, it becomes 0, committed, right? Now, if I open that record, I know you're going to use this, you're going to play with this. If I open that record and I modify it, it becomes 2. Open, modified. So now I know you're going to use that and you're going to play with this. It's like giving you a candy, you know, I know that. So here, you understand what I'm doing. I have a very simple script that goes to a record, go to a layout, and new record. Boom. Then I have opens on record load trigger that says, hey, if the record created is 1, okay. If it's not 1, just exits, ignore that trigger. That means it's okay. It's a existing layer. You just want to go to that record. You know, you don't want to. Okay. But if it's not different than 1, if it's 1, okay, then if I am on an iPhone or on tablets, I go to that. I'm triggering that script, right? And that script I showed you earlier. Do this. I just create a new record. So the invoice ID, in that case, in that time, they wanted me to use their serial number. So it's a serial number. So that is created automatically. New record, if you do new record, you get a new ID, okay, a new serial number, right? So I'm taking that new, invoice ID in memory, and then it habits, and then everything that follows will use that global variable. The advantage of sectioning with the trigger, what is the advantage? From that perspective, I've just go to the layout, new record, go to the new record. From that perspective, I just do new record. This button here is a new record. Oh, yeah, new record. So I'm simplifying everything. I don't know if you noticed this, because I don't need a full actioned new invoice from here, right? That do all the action from there. So it's one script, and then another one from here, one script. No, I have one script that triggered when I say new record. Whatever is coming the new record. If I do new record, boom. So I can be a script that says go to that layout, new record, or from that layout, new record. You know, can be anything. You understand? So I have one script that does on I can create an invoice from customer if I want. That actually I'm doing it. New invoice from customer. I'm using the same technique. Look, I'm here. Customer, create new invoice. What do you think I do? I go to the layouts, right? New record. That's it. You know, it's the same thing. Go to layouts here. New record. That's it. I'm not doing anything complicated because the new record we do the job, right? You understand? It's the new record we do the job, and the new record is on on record load. Sorry. Okay. So you understand the benefits, right? So I understand there's a lot of information here, but now you understand the problem of the iPhone. The phone, if you're not following strict rules, if you build abomination, it will be something that your user will hate using, right? This you can see from the beginning to the end that it feels like we say native. It feels native. You know, you have here the customers, you have here the products, right? So you hear a customer, and you see you have information here. You can create new invoice. Boom, create new invoice, and the script. You see the script. It's a freelance script. New invoice. Boom, right? Done. Invoice. Boom. So now you have two invoice here. See, two invoice, and you can see that another thing. Before we go, here, I'm not showing a portal. We relate, like for example, here on the desktop, customer detail. Here, I have the real estate to display all the layer, all the display the invoice in progress, the past invoice, right? I have the real estate to do this, right? I have the real estate to do the current and the past, the done invoice, the paid invoice. I have this here. You remember I told you portals, go away from portals. Go away from portals. That's, you need to treat portal like ish, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to show you how to treat portals, but here I told you I have two invoices for that customer. That's all what you need to know, right? You tap here and you have your two invoices. That's it. It's very simple. It's here. It's a go to real records. In the list view, you go to the list view of the invoices, right? And you concentrate on those two invoices, and that's it. Why you want to portal? It doesn't work. Portal doesn't work. Period. Okay. So, and I know people will argue, "Oh, I love portal." Okay, it's your problem, not mine. But it doesn't work. So that being said, I think
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Nick. I greatly appreciate it. Glad you had the extra 30 minutes today to go fit through the stuff we missed yesterday.
Yes.
See you tomorrow, probably.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!